Over 13,000 plant species have established outside of their home ranges. In some cases, these naturalized plants become invasive and displace native species, reduce biodiversity, and alter ecosystem functions such as carbon sequestration and nutrient cycling. Functional traits are morphological, physiological, and phenological characteristics of plants that govern how nutrients, water, and carbon are moved and stored within ecosystems. Functional traits also often differ between native and naturalized species. For example, naturalized species tend to have high specific leaf area and thin roots, traits that support fast resource acquisition above and below ground, whereas native species tend to have more conservative traits. These sorts of trait differences between native and naturalized species likely drive changes in ecosystem functioning resulting from plant invasions. However, we do not yet know how differences between the two groups scale to whole plant communities. We integrated data from over 75,000 vegetation plots across the United States with root, leaf, and size trait data to determine how naturalized species shift traits of plant communities. We found that plant communities with higher abundances of naturalized species are characterized by leaf and root traits that support fast resource acquisition above and below ground. Communities with higher abundances of naturalized species are also shorter and more shallowly rooted. In addition, these communities are dominated by plants with thin, fine roots with high specific root length, suggesting that these plant assemblages are less reliant on fungal symbionts for below-ground resource acquisition. We found these patterns to be remarkably similar across desert, grassland, and forest ecosystems, suggesting that the establishment and spread of naturalized species leads to predictable and consistent changes in community-level traits. These trait shifts likely drive observed changes in carbon storage, litter decomposition, and nutrient and water cycling in invaded ecosystems.